Hi everybody and welcome back to the tasting room. We haven't done an empties video in a long time, and since then I've acquired about 29 empty bottles. So since that's so many, we're not going to do them all in one session here. We'll break them up into two. So we'll do half of them this time and half of them next time. But anyway, so far I've done a couple of these empties videos, and they tend to get pretty decent feedback, so I'm going to keep doing them. So first up, we have the Ardbeg Enoa, or N-O, depending on how you want to pronounce that. I've heard it both ways. So this one here, now first let me say Ardbeg is probably, I would say it's probably my favorite Islay distillery. They make a lot of good products. Of their no age statement whiskeys, their specialty products. They've got this one. They've got the Corey Vrecken. They've got the Ugadal. They just rolled out the Drum. So of all of them, this one has it's very good whiskey. If I remember correctly, a little bit briny, a little bit, it still maintains that good level of peat smoke. I want to say this one had a little bit more of an oily mouthfeel. It was a very good whiskey. Again, probably not my favorite of the Ardbeg expressions. That being said, I'm not mad about it. I thought it was very good. It just at $70, $80 price range, I think is what these are going for. Probably won't be buying this one again. There's just too much out there. But I did enjoy it. Moving back over to this side of the pond, I've emptied another bottle of the very old Barton 100 proof. This is one that I will continue to repurchase. As long as it continues to be sold for $12.99 a bottle. You really can't beat it. It's a great quality whiskey. Very Barton comes in four expressions. They've got the 80 proof, the 86, the 90, and the 100. I maintain that they get better with the higher proof. So the 100 proof, the bottle and bond here is by far my favorite, and I love it. It's just a great quality whiskey. Over the past year, I've been getting more and more into making cocktails. So, and I'm no great mixologist or anything. I've got a mean margarita. I've got a pretty great martini. And I've been getting into other simpler things. I've been making old fashions. I don't like a lot of mixers, a lot of fruit juices, and all that gobbledygook. I like to keep it pretty simple because I like to still taste the alcohol, the whiskey, or whatever spirit you have in there. So I've got a lot of I've been able to use a lot of my middle of the road, not quite top shelf booze over the past year because I've been making a lot of mixed drinks. So this was definitely the summer of the margarita for Tom. I've got a bottle of the Sauza Hornitos Añejo here, a bottle of the Hornitos Añejo, and look at that, a bottle of the Hornitos. This one's the Reposado. And along with, if you're making margaritas, you've got to have a little bit of Cointreau. Got a bottle of that, or alternatively, you could do Grand Marnier. Really just depends on what's on sale. They're very similar, some slight nuances between them, but they both work equally well in a margarita. As far as the Hornitos goes, I tend to prefer a little bit older tequila, so I'll usually spring for the Añejo. Sometimes I'll grab the Reposado. I guess it depends on what's on sale, but they're usually pretty similar price point wise, right around the $20 to $22 range. And it's just very good. It's a good solid sipping tequila. Works fantastically in a margarita, and I also use this for cooking a little bit. I'll use this in my chili recipe. So I've gone through a lot of it. So while the summer was all about margaritas, in the fall I was all about making old fashions. So for an old fashioned, for me, you need a good, solid, high rye bourbon. You can even use a rye whiskey. But Wild Turkey has got. They have one mash bill, and it's a high rye mash bill. So I found what works really well in an old fashioned is the standard Wild Turkey 101. Good amount of rye spice. Nice flavor profile, and I will still maintain that Wild Turkey makes a fantastic quality product. From their 101 all the way up through the Kentucky Spirit and all the special distillers select that they do. And really, you can't beat it for the price point. I mean, I'm sure you can find it between $16 and $20 a bottle, so who can argue with that? Okay, around the time that the final season of Game of Thrones came out, a lot of the Scottish distilleries got together and did a bunch of these special Game of Thrones themed whiskeys here. So this one was from Cardew. This is the House Targaryen. And you can still find a couple of these hanging around on the shelves. The price point varies, but a lot of them are kind of flirting with that $100 range, $90, $100. Now, I won't say that this one was as disappointing as the 8th season of Game of Thrones, but I don't know, it left a little bit to be desired. I was hoping for a little bit more, and it wasn't going to be quite so gimmicky, but definitely wasn't good as this other Cardew here. But that's okay. I mean, you take a chance on it. I didn't. After this one, I certainly wasn't thrilled about the prospect of picking up any of the other Game of Thrones series. So, well, it is what it is. On occasion, I do like a Japanese whiskey, and if you never had one, I would definitely recommend going out to try it. It's made kind of in the style of a Scotch whiskey, most of them anyway. This one here is the Hibiki. Pretty good. I've had a couple of Japanese whiskeys, and to date, my favorite is still the Yamazaki 12-year-old. This Hibiki here was pretty good. It was a little bit lighter on the palate. It did have a lot of floral notes to it. Very nice looking bottle, but again, it was okay. I probably and I don't remember what the price point was on this one. Somewhere between 60 and 80, I'm sure. It was decent. Probably won't buy it again. It's just, like I said, just not as good as the Yamazaki. And there's a lot of whiskey out there. So the ones that are a little bit higher on the price point scale and didn't blow me away, I'm probably not going to end up rebuying. Moving back into the Kentucky whiskeys, we have here Mickters Unblended American Whiskey. Now, Mickters makes a number of products. They make a couple of bourbons. They make a sour mash whiskey, which is phenomenal. And that is one that I continue to restock, that sour mash whiskey. Even though the price point keeps kind of climbing, now it's up around over $50 for the bottle. But whatever, I drink it a little bit more sparingly then. This one here, though, this Unblended American Whiskey, really didn't do it for me. Again, it was okay. A lot of this probably ended up going in cocktails, though, because it just wasn't all that great for drinking neat. Just given all the options that I've got around. So, well. Next one we have here is also from Kentucky. This is Old Bardstown. This is a bourbon. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is a Willet product. Now, if you're ever in the Bardstown area, I've said this before and I'll continue to say it, cruise right on up the hill over to the Willet Distillery. It's a gorgeous little distillery, all family owned, everything's still done by hand. Real small operation, very quaint. But they make some of the great bourbon products on the market. The Willet Pot Still Reserve is one of them. And I don't know what I did with my bottle. I have one somewhere floating around. But that's the one that comes in the big copper pot still shaped bottle. They make a great rye, and really all of their bourbon products are. I've never been disappointed with a Willet product. This is probably on the lower end of their scale. This old Bardstown here, but it's still decent. I drank the whole bottle neat. I'm not. Yeah, it's good stuff. We're going to finish it off today with the gins. Went through another bottle of the another one of the 1.5 or 1.75 liters of the Bombay Sapphire. That's just an old standard for me. Sapphire. It's good. If you can't find anything else around, Bombay Sapphire will always do the trick. Works good in a martini. Works great in a gin and tonic. And it's very reasonably priced. I can almost always find this giant bottle for about $29-30. You really can't beat it. And the quality is good. Now, occasionally I'm looking for something with maybe a little bit more flavor. Something that I'm only going to ever use in a martini and not going to use this in a gin and tonic. This one here is the St. George Botanivore. And I've got two all-time favorite gins so far. One of them is the Botanivore here, and the other one is the Botanist, made by the Bruichladdich Distillery. Just tons and tons of botanicals, tons of flavor, very well balanced, just a fantastic gin. Not terribly overpriced. You can usually find it on sale for $30. So it's good. It's good for the money. I would say you definitely get what you pay for in this one. But that's it, folks. That is all I have for you today. Again, this is halfway through our empties, so we've got another 14 coming. But I think I've wasted enough of your time today. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but it's definitely going to be above average. So anyway, if you stuck with us till the end, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section if you like seeing these Empties videos, or if you don't and you'd rather just me keep doing reviews. Either way, let me know. If you did like it, hit that thumbs up button, and then of course if you're not already a member of my channel, hit that button and subscribe. Then after you do, make sure you ding that little bell next to the subscribe button to make sure you get notifications of new videos that come out. New videos come out on the weekends, and I'd hate for you to miss one, so go ahead and do that for me, and I will see you again next week, right here on The Tasting Room.